All right, welcome to Google Sketchup. We are going to be using Google Sketchup to complete our 3D printed coins assignment. Google Sketchup is going to be new to some of us, so I just wanted to create this video, just kind of give a rundown of the tools, how SketchUp works, and how we're going to use it for our 3D printer project. First thing about Google SketchUp is that this is a 3D drawing environment where you are not drawing in a two-dimensional world like you normally do on a piece of paper. We're going to be drawing with width along the red line, depth along the green line, and then we're also going to be adding height to your drawing along this blue axis here. These are going to be called your axis in Google SketchUp and any 3D drawing program you might find. Along the left side, these will be the tools that we're going to use for our project. Top tool is our cursor tool. So if we select that, we can use our cursor to make different selections as we do our drawings. There's an eraser tool that we can erase things as needed. Now that brings up a good point. If you make an accidental deletion or something really doesn't work your way, Control Z will be an undo. So if you start losing your spot, don't panic. Just stop, hit Command or Control Z, and that mistake you made, it's going to back up a step. Under here is a paint bucket. We'll be able to select colors and paint as we get towards the end of the project. We're really not going to use those in our creation stage though. We have a line tool. Pencil is for straight lines. So as I draw, that line is going to be straight. If I select freehand line, I am able to draw whichever line I would like. Okay, moving on down this list, we have an arch tool. We aren't going to use these in the generic project, but as you get comfortable and start creating your own items to print, you're more than welcome to play around with these. We will be using our draw tools here with our rectangle, circle, polygon, and text. So all of our drawings that we will use for this project will be found under this icon here. Underneath that, we have functions such as a push-pull and also the offset, which we will use. In our move item, we have our move crosshair, so we can move objects, we can move lines. We have a rotate, so we can rotate objects if needed. And we also have a scale tool, so if we want to change the size of something, we can make them bigger. We can also make things smaller. As we get to the bottom, navigating around the 3D SketchUp environment, the most often tools we're going to use to kind of orient your work piece so you can make your drawings and make your adjustments on it is the orbit tool. Use the orbit tool. It has the green and red arrows going around this post. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to click once and hold it, and then you can drag with your mouse or your finger and you can circle around inside the environment. There's also this hand tool, which is the pan. You can just adjust where things are sitting on your screen, just kind of getting them oriented the way that works best for you. At any time though, if you get way zoomed into your work or you're very far zoomed out and you just can't find your drawing that you're working on, this zoom extents tool at the bottom, it's the magnifying glass with the arrows coming out of it, is a very helpful tool. Select that and it's going to bring the entirety of your drawing into your working window. So if you get lost, hit the zoom extents, and more times than that, that's going to bring you right back to where you're going to be completing your work. All right, so going forward with our project, we're going to be making the 3D printed coin that you're going to be able to personalize with your name and a design of your choice. But we are going to be making sure we follow the correct dimensions. So the first thing we need to do is we're going to open a new model. So we click on our menu options up there, select new model. And we are going to do our coin in millimeters. So make sure you select the template that says millimeters. Go ahead and disregard the changes to the model that we opened up. Okay, so once we have our millimeters template selected, we're going to go ahead and start drawing our coin. Now we need to remember, thinking in a real life scenario, if we were to draw a coin and placed it at the foot of our person in the drawing here, it would be a small dot right by his toe. So what we're going to do, just to get a frame of reference, we're going to zoom in towards his toe, and at this point we'll grab our circle tool, and I'm going to click once. I'm going to start dragging out. Now if you look down here in the lower right hand corner of the screen, it keeps track of our radius. I want you to drag the coin until we have a radius of 25 millimeters, which is going to give us a diameter of 50, because remember, radius is 1/2 of the diameter. Okay. Now that we have our circle, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab our cursor. I'm going to select the person, so he's highlighted with the blue box, hit delete. Now the only thing we have left in our 3D world is that circle that we've just finished drawing. Now as we zoom back into that circle, I'm going to grab the push-pull, which is the brown box with the red arrow. As I hover over my circle, it comes with the blue dots. That means that's going to be the area that's going to be affected. I'm going to click once. Now I'm able to stretch that circle into a 3D object. So again, looking down at the lower right hand corner of the screen, it gives our distance. We are going to pull that up to a distance of 2 millimeters. So we will have a disc that is diameter of 50 millimeters, which would be 5 centimeters, and a height of 2 millimeters. Now at this point, we're going to put a ridge around the edge of the circle. So to kind of have a better view of what we're doing, I'm going to go down to this bottom tool in our navigational tools. I'm going to select the orbit. With the orbit tool selected, I'm going to click once, and I'm going to rotate our coin so I can see more of a top view, so we can get a good look of what we're going to do with the face of it. Once I have that set up so I can have a good view, I'm going to come over again to this push-pull tool, but instead of using the push-pull, we're going to go ahead and select the offset tool. What the offset tool is going to do, it's going to create another circle inside the circle, or if you had a square, it'd be a square inside of a square. But I'm going to select that edge, and now as I drag it in, it's going to create that circle. It's going to be offset whatever value we want. In this case, we're going to do an offset of 2 millimeters, which again, if you look in the dialog box in the lower right hand screen, you'll see that we have a distance of approximately 2 millimeters. That's going to be good enough for our assignment here. So we want 2. I'm going to click. Now we have a disc with a ring inside with an offset of 2 millimeters. Now we have 2 surfaces here. So if I were to zoom in, this surface, this outside ring, is considered a different surface than this middle, which is exactly what we want, because now they become 2 separately workable objects in Google SketchUp. So what I can do And what I would like you to do is go back to our push-pull tool. That's again the box with the red arrow. Now we're going to click on the outside ring and we're going to bring that up 2 millimeters. Alright, so once we have that ring pulled up on the outside edge, everybody's coin is going to look exactly the same. Everybody's coin is going to have a diameter of 50 millimeters or 5 centimeters. It's going to have an overall height from top to bottom of 4 millimeters and then an inside lip of 2 millimeters. So everybody at this point, we're going to save that work, and then tomorrow with our next video we're going to go over adding the personalized text, personalized objects, and let you guys get creative with it. But right now everybody should look exactly like this. If it does not, go ahead and rewatch the video and see if you can find where you need to make your adjustments. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow.